My name is Carol, and I'm the Director of Education and Public Programs here at the Olana Partnership. The Olana Partnership is a nonprofit partner that works in collaboration with New York State Parks to run programming and tours and all of the fun stuff that happens here at Olana. So definitely go to our website and find out more that's happening this summer. I'm so excited about this program. It's the first in a very special series that we're doing in conjunction with the current photography show that we have on view. So you might be wondering, why are we doing a nature walk in conjunction with the photography show? And the reason is because the photographer is really encouraging us through the selection of photos that he picked from Frederick Church's historical archives, housed here at Olana, where Frederick Church lived. He picked photos that really represent the relationship between man and earth, man and nature. And so we thought it would be a really exciting opportunity to encourage us to think about taking advantage of these 250 beautiful acres to deepen our relationship with nature. And who better to help us do that than Nkoula Badila,
thank you.
founder of Grow Black Hudson, and one of my kind of heroes here in the community.
Oh, what?
A fabulous member of the Hudson community and an advocate for sustainable farming, an artist, an interdisciplinary artist, and the founder of Grow Black Hudson, which I'm sure you'll talk a little bit about. But if you haven't heard about that organization, I would look into it. It's really inspiring, and I will turn things over to Nkoula. I just want to say, if you want to learn a little bit more about some of the other series that we're doing as part of this Lessons from the Land series, please catch me afterwards. I'll have some flyers and some things, but without further ado, Nkoula, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Yeah, it's wonderful to be here with you all. Thank you for coming through on this gorgeous day. I feel like, well, we're like, oh, it's going to be a sunset, hour, like, activities, and that's, like, literally coming through. So during this whole walk, I want us to try to, like, feel all of the elements that are at play here, right? When we think about our ancestors or different people, the indigenous people who lived on these lands, who tended these lands, connected with these lands, they felt all of these elements, and they were able to also understand these plants that we're going to be talking about today because, they see other animals eat them and they see that it's safe, It's just like a way that you're more in tune with seeing how all of this can teach us, right? So, yeah, I'd like to just, welcome that. We're here in this wonderful land, this wonderful space, and we're going to be meeting different plant friends that are medicine, and just different ways that you can also connect with them as medicine, super easy ways like just making a tea, which we will get into later today, pointing out some of the things that we're going to be seeing. And there's another little extra surprise that I'll get to that, as we come to it. So we'll walk down this way, and then we'll make our way back up and around. Does anyone need any assistance with, or have any things they want to check out for? Or so I was just sharing with everyone, we're really just acknowledging this land as mother and as a way of learning so much from, like tapping into all the little details that comes from the sunset to the wind to the bugs that are eating the plants, just ways that we can see how the earth moves around us and how we can also connect deeper. We're going to come, what Caroline shared earlier, in collaboration with that artist, we're coming to one of their sculptures here now. And this here, I'm not going to say what it is. Does anyone know what it is? Fiddlehead fern, that's right. So this is going to be one of the big inspirations in some of the movement that we do today. Fiddlehead ferns, people would harvest it as food, So it's a way of really keeping different communities together and being able to eat and take care of themselves. So it has a lot of nourishment, has a lot of iron, has so many different properties that help to support our immune system and our well-being. And the sculpture, is a beautiful homage to where they lay. So if you wanted to read a little more there, I'm still learning about this artist, but it's a beautiful sculpture. And, you can just see what comes if you think of this as a movement, like what's happening there, We're opening up. And also, what does that feel like? Sometimes it seems like it could be like breathing or, some things that you might see in life, wheels, wings, a lot of special connections there. So we can continue. Unless anyone wants to share anything or has something to say about the sculpture, we can all.
One of our guests said it felt like Alice in Wonderland because it's so much bigger than what you normally see.
Yeah, no, that's really true.
Through the looking glass.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. Feels like you're dropped in a little world. You're like a little insect or something. Yes. Yeah, so we can continue. I think we're going to try to drop off some things that people are carrying because we're going to do the movement up here. So we can start to make our way. It might be easier to walk down this way. So here's another little plant ally that you probably have seen a lot around. Does anyone know what this one here is? These little seed pods? Yeah, plantain. So plantain is one, you can see it, you know, it's super, super strong, a very powerful one. Even you'll see it coming through sidewalk, you know, it cracks through. So it's a very potent, powerful medicine. Very much for this season as well, when you can get bug bites, you know, mosquitoes, anything like that. You can take a leaf, you know, crush it up. Sometimes people will like crush it with their mouth to like get a little bit of moisture in there. And then you can put it right on like that bite, and it helps to soothe it and relieve some of those, you know, stinging elements that might come after. I've also heard of a lot of indigenous cultures that will also cook it up. You know, even in different countries, you'll see them grow plantain specifically to be able to use it in their cuisine, because it also carries a lot of medicine in that way too. So the wonderful plantain. Also, all the while you're seeing these little flowers coming up. There's clover, there's wood sorrel, very nice, bright and tangy kind of flavor. Really good for your blood. Kind of, if you think of a lemon, you know, a lemon like kind of helps to squeeze out any kind of toxins that might be in your body. So, you know, drinking lemon water is really great, but also like if you see like wood sorrel, you know, clover, those things are also great to add to your water, to your teas, to help clear out the blood and bring a little higher energy. Beautiful. The sunset's going to be so gorgeous. I'm so excited for us. It's going to be a really wonderful experience to just tap in, you know. So yeah, just lay your stuff here. And we're going to take a little loop down and around this way and come back up. Everybody feeling fit? You want to drink your water, you know. Do a little stretch before we get into it. You know, just get yourself feeling good. And let's meet some plants. Has anyone already seen this garden here? Has anyone experienced that? Yeah. It's really awesome. I've been learning more, and also just growing up and seeing how it's like, it changes color all throughout the season. I thought that was the most amazing thing, to like set up a garden to do that. You really get like a different frequency with all of the different colors that come through. It's really pretty. But you know, definitely you can find some time to check that out.
This is definitely the yellow golden time.
The yellow golden time of the year, that's right.
Getting more yellow and golden.
Yeah, it's nice to see that goldenrod coming up a lot. Goldenrod is the one that, you know, you might see it almost looks like fireworks that are bursting out, goldenrod. And it usually likes to grow a lot, like super abundantly in big fields. And you'll see it just like taking over, and this gold, you know, just like shining, especially when the sunlight's hitting it. And you can harvest that, you know, it's really good for tea for your bladder, you know, or your liver. Really good to help just cleanse those areas. Yeah, so raspberry leaf, I see why you're saying that. Its leaves are very similar to this, and it's like three, like 1, 2, and 3, and it has like a very spiky stem. But raspberry leaf carries a lot of great properties for like womb health, if you're like in menopause, menstrual cycles, like any kind of blood health. Get you some raspberry leaf, you know, especially sometimes it can get real abundant, but if you need to clip it back, you can also save those leaves. I like to put it even right in the pot, you know, boil it fresh, make some tea like that, or you can dry it out as well and then save it for future. And it's just really good for supporting the blood and also just detoxing as well. So that's a great one to have around because it likes to get abundant too, so then you can have a lot to share and, you know, add it to your diet. Yeah. I really love this time of year when everything's like making all this sound. All the like crickets, it's like a whole symphony. Yeah, the cicada, yeah. It's like you're like in a whole like symphony, like right in the middle of it. So, does anyone know what this tree here is?
Walnut. Sumac, right?
I believe it's a sumac.
Oh.
Yeah. So sometimes you can see it'll grow really big where it has like a red kind of bursting like fuzzy like seed pods. And you can actually eat those. I learned that a little while ago. You can eat them, and it's like kind of like little vitamin C, you know, intake. And they're really like tarty. They're, you know, they kind of have a nice flavor.
It's yummy.
And they get really big.
It's one of the ingredients in za'atar.
Zatar, exactly. That's right. That's right. Yeah, they grind that in. That gives that lemony flavor that you're probably tasting in it.
So that's the red berry?
Yeah, the red, when you see it, like, it only happens when they get very mature. And then they burst up and you'll see it coming out of the middle of the plant. It'll just, like, come out. And you'll see it, especially if you're driving, like, on different roads. Like, you'll see big trees that can get there, and there's, like, this red burst that comes through. And that's the seed pod of the sumac. And it's very, very medicinal. Very medicinal. So, you know, there's little, I thought there was, like, little clovers. So you might see some little clovers that are sparking around. This is a little one here that I can point out. So this is more on the baby side. Does anyone know what this is? It starts with an M. Milkweed. Milkweed, that's right. So this is a little baby milkweed. And this is the plant that feeds the monarch butterflies. When you see them come through, like, that's the plant they'll lay their eggs, they'll you know, eat from and continue to, like, make their way from all the way north in Canada all the way to Mexico. It's an incredible journey. And, you know, so this medicine already carries this powerful spiritual energy. Sometimes when you see it grow really tall, it'll have, like, pink flowers that burst out. They also kind of look like fireworks that are, like, exploding, and they smell really sweet. Sometimes people will use those, like, flower pods to, like, be in elixirs or different kind of medicine like that because of the flavor of the flower. And then it has a seed pod that looks almost like very alien-like. Like, I could see this guy maybe making a sculpture of it. And then when it cracks open, then it spreads their seeds and they float and fly. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, when you see those floating white seed pods just in the air, it's like Avatar movie, you know. But it's coming from these milkweed pods, you know. So they spread very abundantly, just like the butterflies that come through and you know, sustain themselves on them. So that's milkweed. If there's more, I think there might be more as we go out too. So you can see different stages of them as they get older too. Yeah. This here is a clover flower. Has anyone ever, well, I remember when we were younger here, let's make a little space so everybody can see them. I'm pointing out to this one right here, y'all. So this here is a little teeny clover flower. This will be another offering that comes through as one of the teas that you can, you know, add to your tea blend. This clover flower, I used to love these when we were kids. We were told that you can, like, pick them out and, like, suck the like honey, we would say, out of it. And it was, like, the most amazing thing to be a kid and to be like, wow, like, there's, like, candy on earth, you know, the sweetness. And then also connecting with how these birds and bees and little insects come and actually are having that experience, you know. I'm like, oh, it's not just plant, you know, juice, it's sweet, you know, like, it's something that is probably also bringing all of this, like, lovely energy that they emit, right? So clover is really good for your blood, really good for your liver. People use it to like strengthen, also for cold, flus, you know, you can put it in the tea for those things. You know, just a lot of that similar, like, blood, iron, strengthening property. And people will take the flowers just like that, you know, they'll take a bunch of the flowers and you can dry them out, use them in your tea or whatever kind of medicine that you want to soak it into. And, you know, it's abundant, but also, you know, when you do go through your exploration of foraging, take what makes sense, right? You don't want to go in a place where, like, there's like maybe only that little patch and you take everything, you know. It's always about honoring and seeing, like, okay, there's this abundance, so, you know, I can come and, like, also, you know, make some medicine from it or, like, bring it to my family, heal in that way. Always go into it with the intention of, like, I'm not just going to take this, you know. I'm also going with giving thanks that this medicine grew here on this earth, you know, for us to share. Sometimes I like to bring water and pour some water or, like, you know, leave a little shell or some kind of offering as, like, you know, I see you and you went through this whole journey to grow and I'm giving thanks for being able to receive this medicine, you know. So if you want to continue to play with, you know, earth medicine, and so that's goldenrod right there. But if you want to continue to play with it, you know, just make sure you're going into it with that awareness and acknowledgement. Because, you know, we have to respect her. We're learning so much from her, you know. So there's goldenrod. I was sharing that earlier. That's one that's big, bursting, beautiful. It helps with a lot of, like, bladder. If you have, like, a bladder infection, like UTIs, all those kind of things that you want to just kind of clear out this digestive system, you know, it's really good to put in your teas. And, you know, you can store it for a long time as well. You can, like, let the flowers dry out and, you know, keep it in a darkish place and it'll be good to go for a long time. So, you know, plenty to learn, plenty to share. We can continue on. We're almost there. How y'all doing? Good, you learning something new? Do you know any of these plants? Yep. Do you remember the name of this one I just pointed out? What was that one's name? Starts with a G. It looks like what it looks like. Goldenrod. There it is. Yeah, it's medicine. This is another milkweed here. You see it's getting a little bigger. Yep, milkweed. And yeah, so does anyone have a problem with this hill here? This hill here. Is it very steep for anyone where they're like, I don't even want to try it? Okay, we're in. Let's get it. So this is a good exercise because we're going to be getting into some movement. So this is a little bit of a warm-up. Think about your breath as you're making moves up the hill. You know, you can just focus in on a breath. As you pass, you're going to see some little white clovers on the floor. Same idea, little sweet ones. I used to like to make necklaces out of them. You could string the tips to the flower heads and make nice little wreaths. Anyone know what kind of tree this is? Yeah. So maple, you know, our pancakes and our, you know, delicious, yummy desserts or alternative sweeteners. All the maple syrup comes from these trees, right? So this is one that is very much honored, is respected, it's given thanks to, and it was very much in the diet of indigenous people as well, you know, as a medicine. They would drizzle it on their little sunflower seed pancakes and, you know, you have a good day. So the way that they would do, you know, they would tap it and it drips out, you know, like basically like the fluid of the tree itself. It pours through and it allows this sap to build up, and then they boil that down. It gets concentrated into the syrup that you eat in your delicious meals. So giving thanks to the maples. You probably will see more of them here. You can see their leaves kind of look like stars, or even if you think of like Canada, right? Known for its maple syrup, to the point where they brought the leaf into their flag and representation. So from here, I like to invite you, if you would like to take off your shoes, you're very welcome to. I like to support that connection. It does definitely help to release different frequencies through your feet to the earth. You can connect deeper. No pressure at all. Just watch out for twigs or sticks or little pokey, you know, things that might come through. But, you know, once you find your space, you know, and you want to take off your shoes, you can. You also don't have to. And now we're going to get into some of the movements that, you know, are just coming through from the different plants that we've seen today. So I chose this space because we can see the beautiful views ahead, you know. So even though I might be sharing some things, you know, definitely take your time. Take what comes in for you to connect with this beautiful earth that we're here to share, you know. Before we even get into it, I would like us to start, you know, kind of like with our heads making our way down. So we're just going to do like slow circles with the head. You know, if you want to just breathe and just feel, you know, the weight of your head. Feel the weight of your head pulling towards the earth, right? We're here with gravity, so there's so much here that we can connect with when we're even doing your stretch. You know, you can allow the body weight to just fall to the earth and let that be what stretches out the side of the neck as you make your round. And it'll roll it the other way. All the way around, just breathing, feeling the air that's coming through. Angel, our awesome percussionist, is here to also help us connect to that rhythm that's in all of life as well, right? Every kind of element has a rhythm. So we're also tapping into the breath pattern, whatever comes through with the rhythm that inspires the breath pattern that you find to get into it. Now let's roll the shoulders forward. Same idea, bending the knees as the elbows come down. What's happening here? Take a breath. Allow it to sip in. Beautiful. Now put your hands in front of you here. All right? Well, as you put your hand in front of you, pushing your hand away from yourself, right? So it's like, if you're the plant, you're bursting out with these beautiful flowers and seeds to the earth. Left side. Woo. Feeling that strength. Coming back together and give thanks. Okay? So let's bring it all together. One big homage of giving thanks to our body, our movement, all different limbs and areas, right? So, to start, we're gonna do our steps to the right, our steps